afternoon, everyone. This is Michael Kinnett with Eternal Networks. Once again, it's time for our Friday live stream where we're going to be talking about the Russia-Ukraine conflict and your cyber safety. So just as in previous weeks, our format's going to be about 5 minutes or so talking about the latest cyber news related to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. I'll spend about 5 minutes talking about a tip, a cybersecurity tip, and then the last few minutes we'll spend answering any questions that people may have. So it's been a busy week with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. I know there's been talks of possible peace talks and other things, but when you look at what's been going on with cyber, it doesn't seem like it's slowing down. So March 24th, this last week, Ukraine's cybersecurity agency, SSSCIP, it's a lot of letters, they announced a bug bounty program where they will pay white hat hackers basically a bounty if they find any vulnerabilities that can be exploited and let the Ukrainian government know about that. So Ukraine's trying to bolster its defenses and find any more weaknesses and get those repaired. Ukraine also published this last week a dossier of 620 alleged FSB agents on their website. And these agents, they're saying, are involved in the cyber attacks and things that are going on against Ukraine. So they've been gathering information on what's going on and published quite a group of information about these people. This is the big one, right? So the largest cyber attack of the conflict up to this point happened this last week. Ukraine's major telecom provider, their major internet provider, was hit with a denial of service attack, a massive denial of service attack, and it took them offline for most of the country. So it's UKR Telecom, and they provide the internet services for much of the government, military, and businesses. After the attack, they were operating at about 18% of their internet capacity from pre-war, what they had pre-war. So this is a big deal. There's been, it sounds like maybe the attack's been mitigated and they're able to start bringing things back online, but most of the country was down for a bit from this attack. Also, Viasat satellites are still being attacked. This has been going on since January. They're still being hit with attacks. Most of the attacks, from what it sounds like, are the wiper attacks. We talked about those in past weeks. Malware that's going in and maliciously wiping data on systems to take things offline. So that's still affecting parts of Europe in an attempt to interrupt their communications capabilities through satellite. Also, last week, I thought this was really interesting. Ukraine's Computer Emergency Response Team, they call them CERT, C-E-R-T, they revealed some statistics showing that the country had been hit by 60 different cyber attacks since the conflict started. 11 of those have targeted government and local authorities, 8 hitting military and law enforcement, 4 telecom, and they outlined the details on these. A lot of those had been information gathering or malicious wiping of data through those wiper attacks we've been talking about. So they did say that a lot of them were not successful. They were attempted attacks that they had to deal with, but some of them have been successful, as we've been discussing. All right, moving on to the security tip. So today we're going to talk about password management. Passwords, a lot of times when I talk to people about passwords and proper password management, they roll their eyes like, oh, I know, I got to change it every so often. It's got to be so long. I can't use the same ones, right? And people understand, right? That doesn't mean that they do it, because the reality of it is our brains don't work that way, right? Our brains don't work in the way that we can store hundreds of unique passwords of varying lengths that keep rotating around, and remember what they are and when we need them. So in order to have good password hygiene, the only way to do it is to have a password manager system. And I've done videos last year on password management systems and what they are and how they work. Just know, we highly recommend, if you don't have one right now, we recommend going out and getting one. If you need to find one, select one, talk to us, we've got one that we recommend. Password security is one of the largest vulnerabilities of an organization. There's one study I found showed that as many as 81% of security breaches, this is in this one study, involved weak or stolen passwords. So your business is at risk if you have weak passwords, stolen passwords. So having a password management system that allows you to use unique passwords, rotate them, share them securely, right, with military-grade encryption within your organization, right? If you need to share a login to Facebook to manage your social media or other websites, then you need a way of securely sharing those, right? Not a sticky note, not through email, not through text message. You need a secure way of doing that. Password management system can assist with that. You should never use the same password more than one places, because if that site is breached and they're able to access your credentials, your password, anywhere else you've used that password now, you're potentially vulnerable. So that's one of the big reasons why we recommend using different passwords. Password Manager really is going to make your life so much easier in managing all these things. Not only is it going to make you more secure, but it's going to make it easier for you to remember. You're not going to have to reset passwords all the time. If anybody has any questions about password management, about what's going on in Ukraine, cybersecurity in general, please post them in the chat. I'd love to answer them live here. Anybody that's watching right now, thank you for joining. Those that maybe are watching this after the fact, thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch as well. I do want to point out, we will have a webinar next week. It's going to be next Thursday. We moved it up. Normally we do it on the third Thursday, and we moved it up. We're going to do it next week instead. So it's going to be April 7th at 1 p.m. and we're going to be talking in depth about keeping your business safe from cyber conflict. So we've kind of very high level been discussing a lot of different things about cyber conflict over this last month on Fridays, and we're going to be digging a little bit deeper into that and talking about some strategies and some tools and some things that we do and that we recommend all organizations do to be safe from cyber conflict. So we're going to be talking about some of these hacking attacks, how they get in, and how you can mitigate and prevent exposure for your organization. So I'll make sure I post in the comments below the link to register. I hope to see you all in there. Let's see. Nope, no questions so far. So hopefully that means I was clear enough in my descriptions. If any questions do come up, please post them in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Once again, our webinar is going to be next week, next Thursday. Love to see you on there. Love to have an open conversation about cybersecurity for you and your business. Hopefully I'll see you then. Have a wonderful weekend.